This is a 9 News Now special report.
I'm Leslie Foster.
Hello, I'm Todd McDermott. We're interrupting the Late Show for a special weather report. That wall of storms wiping across our area is still in play tonight. Tornado warnings in 5 local counties. I want to give you a live look right now, if we can, outside our studios. I'm told it is still teeming with rain right now. And again, we do have tornado warnings in effect for the next half hour or so.
That will take you back to that other shot you just saw. That was a shot in Fredericksburg, Virginia, which did take a direct hit from a tornado. Topper talked about this earlier, that a tornado was confirmed to have touched down around 10:30. You're looking at what's left of a home there, really just torn apart there from a tornado. Obviously, this particular neighborhood looks to be to have some serious damage in spots. We're looking at this shot there, and you can see debris everywhere. You see lots of trucks everywhere. You see the rain still coming down. Obviously, quite a situation there, and lots of lightning. That we've been talking about that as well.
We're still trying to get word on any possible injuries. As you can see, most of the homes there are still standing. That home heavily damaged. I want to mention the tornado warning before we go to Topper. Fairfax County, Prince George's County, Charles County, Maryland, Prince William County, and Stafford County, all under a tornado warning until 12:15. Again, you're looking at live pictures from Fredericksburg, where a tornado, we have reports, did touch down there. You see the damage, you see the debris, and the rescue vehicles there in that neighborhood, which is Brushy Creek Circle, I believe, in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
That's just off of 654 and Truslow Road in that general vicinity. Our photojournalist, Kurt Brooks, is there. And Kurt, you're there on the scene. You're looking at this damage. You're seeing what's going on out there. Give us a scene setter of sorts.
Well, right now, this looks like the beginning of the track of the storm. It's the first spot I came into when I drove into the area. And from what I'm told, this is really just the tip of the iceberg. We've have multiple homes damaged or quite possibly destroyed. I understand one home they are calling for collapse teams to come because they believe the occupants are trapped in the basement. Now, I'm not over there. Like I say, unfortunately, it's the first spot I pulled into. I have overheard they've requested Fairfax County's collapse teams to respond. Quantico's collapse team is to respond to this area. So far, we don't have too many reports of injuries, which is quite amazing. And like I say, it's quite a scene. They're moving vehicles back and forth. Here, let me go digging for something to clean off my lens so you can actually see what I see.
All right, Kurt, while you do that, let me ask you a question real quick. Did you, your drive over there, I know that this tornado, we believe, touched down around 10:30, and I know you were trying to get there. What was the traffic? What were the road conditions like? Was it raining even harder than we see now?
It was kind of interesting. I was actually, about 10:30, I was actually in Fredericksburg. We had some really good ideas that the storm was coming this way and that it was going to be fairly severe. So I had stopped off of Route 3, about 4 miles to the west of Fredericksburg, Route 95, and shot some earlier video of just the lightning that you saw during the 11 o'clock show. And I was sitting there listening to our scanners, attempting to find out what, if anything, was happening. Here, let me zoom in here a little bit and see what we've got going on. It really wasn't until well after the 11 o'clock hour that I started to hear reports of people and what had gone on here. Let me see if these folks might want to speak. Excuse me, folks. Hey, may I ask you real quick what you saw? Hi.
Hello.
Nope. Okay, I'm sorry. Some folks are a little shaken here, to say the least.
And they just want to get out of the rain, Kurt.
Absolutely, surely. Kurt, are those the only folks that you see out there? It looks pretty dark. I mean, are they, I would assume at this hour, there are probably families in homes.
Well, there have been some people stepping out to see what's going on. I'm sorry, would you be able to speak to me about what you saw? I'm with Channel 9, and we're live on the air right now. Would I be able to ask you what you saw, sir?
It's just a lot of damage to the houses.
Down that way, is it any more severe that you saw down there?
It's pretty bad.
It is pretty bad?
Yes, like this house there's houses with porches missing. There are houses where the garage door has fallen in onto their car or whatever. Cars damaged. It's horrible.
Front porches, those who had front porches, the porches are gone.
It's really bad. Some are not as bad as others, but some are really bad.
What happened when the storm blew by? Were you at home? And what did you hear?
We were in the basement. We live on this street here. and I've heard hurricanes, tornadoes before. I heard the sound. I looked out, and I saw a white, like the eye, go by, and that's when I told my wife and the children to get out of here. And we were already in the basement, and then we came up afterwards. That's when we noticed all the damage.
Wow. What do you think?
I'm just thankful that God continues to watch over us, and that His anointing and favor is upon our home.
Excellent. Thank you very much for speaking to me tonight.
Yes.
Thank you.
Alrighty, well,
you,
as you can see.
Kirk, can you give us a better idea of where you are? We heard it was between Route 654 and Trueslow Road, but I want to make sure people know where you are.
Sure. Well, I tell you, it's a new neighborhood, and it's so new that it didn't show up on my maps or my GPS, which gave us a little consternation trying to find it when we started hearing the calls. As you can see, the police, whoops, there we go, trying to do 6 things at once here. The police are putting up the tape now so that this is as far as I'm allowed to go. And we're northwest of Fredericksburg by about 5 miles. I'm in Stafford County, and I'm north of 17, and there's a lot of development. In fact, I think when my GPS brought me in here, it brought me in an old road when I could have come in a newer one, but it didn't tell me it was there. Time to update the software, I suppose.
All right, Kurt, would you stand by there? Good work there. We're going to send it over to Topper, who's going to talk a bit more about what we were seeing out there.
Brooks, what else can you tell us down there?
Oh, well, really right now I don't have too much more to tell you. I'm trying to see if I could get maybe a fire chief or something to come over and give me a broader view. Unfortunately, I don't really know the layout of this neighborhood. It looked fairly big when I was pulling up from the backside. And I am convinced that there is far more damage than what I spotted in this little corner here. Like I say, I don't even really have an idea how I'm going to be able to get out now that they put this tape up here. But
Okay.
it seems...
Well, the
I'm
good
sorry,
news is you've no reports of injuries, correct? Although now we see an ambulance.
There are, well, I did not hear any specific reports of injuries. However, I did hear them say that they needed a couple of ambulances to respond over to where a house had completely pancaked. And they were concerned that the residents were inside. And in fact, they continued to request more and more units over there to continue the search in that area. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of that road. Mm-hmm. There is another issue they're very concerned about. They're running around turning off all the gas meters because there are apparently a lot of gas leaks at this time.
All right. Well, just keep us posted. Give us a holler if you see any new information, especially on the folks that may be in the basement and the other parts of the neighborhood that may be, in fact, received more damage. We do have a live picture for you to the left side of your screen, and down toward a Brushy Creek Circle. Kirk is down there, and he's in the neighborhood around Trueslow Road and 654. Any more information as to some of the other homes that may have been damaged?
No, not at this time. Well, we do have some lightning in the area, as you may have just heard. At this time, I don't have any additional information. I've requested that the fire PIO, press information officer, come over and speak with me.
Okay.
But I haven't seen him yet, and quite frankly, it's so wet and rainy out here that I can't really see too much anything other than through my camera.
Now, we saw an ambulance pull in earlier, but you haven't seen anything leave or any reports of if it's carrying anyone?
No, not that I saw.
Okay.
Like I say, I'll be honest, I think I'm not really in the middle of the worst of it. I think I'm very much on the periphery. If I had to guess, right when I arrived, there were quite a number of fire trucks on the streets. What attracted me, obviously, they had large towers up. They had their lights going up on top of 50-foot masts, and they lit the whole neighborhood. And said, okay, well, I guess I'm in the right spot. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I parked, they broke it down and started driving quickly somewhere else. And I think that's where that one home that is collapsed has attracted their attention. So that's where all that stands at this time.
Okay. So, well, that's good news. I mean, if you don't have, that's not good news if there's damage that's worse than what you're looking at, but at least for the time being, you know, reports of injuries, and everybody the authorities seem to be on top of it.
Hey, Kurt Brooks, can you hear us out there?
I can't hear you, sir.
All right, we're glad you're back up, and I'm sure you're not dry, but glad you're safe. And I know you're pretty much stuck where you are. Have you heard any more about possible damage or injuries in that neighborhood?
I have not. Unfortunately, one of my most valuable tools is to listen to the scanner, and it's impossible to do all of it at the same time, frankly.
Well, you're doing a heck of a job with what you're trying to do anyways, Kurt. I mean, listening to the scanner and reporting and shooting and getting this on the satellite at the same time. I think you're doing pretty well.
I'd have to agree with that, Kurt.
Multitasking?
Absolutely. He's definitely multitasking, definitely doing a good job out there. And Kurt had talked about the possibility that there was a family that might have been trapped in a home. I know, Kurt, you were still trying to get some of that information, and obviously the emergency folks there are quite busy. But Topper, when you look at this damage and hear your accounts of this storm that was sort of going in and out and in and out, it's almost amazing that there isn't more damage that we're kind of looking at right here.
Well, that's one thing that when you go to talk to schools and kids, they don't really understand that tornadoes aren't very big. I mean, they can be 100 yards wide, they can be 200 yards wide, and they can come and they can skip. So you'll often see a case where the house next to that house is fine, and that house has no siding. So that is the fickle way with tornadoes.
And we heard that man that Kurt interviewed earlier say he saw the eye of the storm. A white eye is what he saw coming down the street, and he and his wife got into the basement. Kurt, let me bring you in here for a second there. We saw an ambulance again. It looked like it was backing up. Any idea if they're actually treating anybody? Can you tell?
Not at this time. I haven't seen any direct activity in front of me. This right here would be the command post. This battalion chief's vehicle is where they're operating everything, trying to decide where to go and what to do. This is not where they're staging equipment. They're staging equipment at a nearby middle school, the best I can tell before I got involved in shooting all this. The majority of the damage, the people that I interviewed spoke that it appeared to be there's a bunch of damage down this way. However, and I'm going to spin around into the darkness here, down this way, I believe a lot of damage happened on this side of the complex. Down that direction, I can't quite tell. Just FYI, this is Stanley Loop that I'm currently parked on.
Okay.
Kurt, thank you. Top, we're going to send it back to you because it looks like the storm is sort of right on top of us, even though we are not under a tornado warning.
All right, hi, this is Kurt Brooks here, and we have our PIO from Stafford County. Sir, what do we have?
Yeah, I just talked to our incident command post right now. What we're looking at, and these are preliminary numbers, about 25 or so homes with significant damage. None of those homes are tenable. All those people are being evacuated. Gale Middle School is open for the evacuation site. We do have one civilian injury. It's minor in nature. Is being transported to the hospital. As you can see, we got multiple alarms here. We've got trot rescue coming from both Quantico and Fairfax right now.
You say 25 homes have been damaged. How severe is the damage to these homes?
I haven't had that visual myself. Some of them have had very significant damage. I can't really give you good numbers. I don't believe we have any physically on the ground totally, but I don't want to state that entirely. But enough to get those people out of the house, and they're not structurally sound for them to go back.
What goes on from here?
We're going to keep searching. We're searching house to house to make sure we don't have other victims, obviously. Big accountability check to make sure we can account for everybody in this neighborhood and keep our people safe while we do that.
Sarah, can I grab you real quick?
Just a minute.
Alrighty, I'm going to relay a request from our anchor here. Go ahead, guys.
Go ahead.
Can you tell us whether Kurt, you told us earlier about the potential that a family might have been trapped at a home. Do we know if that's the case, or have those people been evacuated?
Do we have any information? Earlier there was a report of a family maybe trapped in the basement of one of the homes. Was that true?
There was some unconfirmed information of a possible entrapment. As of now, we've not confirmed any entrapment, so we're still searching every home, but there's no confirmed reports that we're getting anybody out of the house that they're trapped in right now.
Kurt, that leads to my next question, and that is, I know that you have been kind of hampered in being able to get around. What about that team? Can they get to all the homes they need to now?
I think we lost our PIO because he has to run off to someplace else.
Officer.
Yeah. Yes, unfortunately, we're.
This may not be sorted out till morning.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And unfortunately, I'm the only one who could actually be able to hear you. So at the time that we were trying to ask the questions, it was a little hard. I had to relay.
Well, Kurt, thank you for that information. I guess it bears repeating that the public information officer there said that there were 25 homes in the Fredericksburg area with significant damage, that the families in those homes had to be evacuated, that one person miraculously was injured with minor injuries and was taken to the hospital. And it sounds like they're going house to house and checking on people.
And Kurt, let's establish here, is there any power in the neighborhood that you can tell?
Okay, there is power to what I believe, let's see, that would be the east. And then over where the damage is over that away, I don't think there's power at this time. Now, this is one of those new neighborhoods where the power's run underground, so it's quite possible that they were able to retain power. They didn't knock the lines down in the neighborhood. Now, outside the neighborhood, I'm not so sure what might have happened.
Well, the best news we have tonight so far is one report of a minor injury. That person was transported, but it's not a life-threatening injury. We can only hope that's the only injury we hear of tonight. We've already talked with people live on the air. Kurt did, who went to the basement, saw the damage come through, possibly saw the eye of the storm. But right now we have just that report of the one injury, which, if that's the case, would be very good news come daylight.
Hey, Kurt, was that Lieutenant Mark Stone that you were talking with by any chance?
I'm pretty sure that's the case. He's actually over speaking with somebody else right now, and I'm not going to disturb him.
All right, Kurt.
But I'm pretty sure that was him.
All right, Kurt, you stay there and try to stay dry and keep the camera running. We're going to go back to Topper right now because, again, we still have severe weather, heavy rains across the area.